Guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are gonna drop one of the blocks out the back. See if we can get a little stance going before I get the lift in. But she's sitting pretty good right now. 37s look great actually. Not loud, not wobbly. So yeah, let's see if we can pull these blocks out. All right, so first we're gonna take off these wheels. I got the front of the leaf springs on each side being supported by jack stands. You're still gonna need to keep the jack underneath, because if you put it on the stands and you just drop it, because I jacked it up from the diff, it's not just gonna stay in the air because it's not holding up any of the suspension. So as soon as I drop that jack, the whole diff, everything will just fall to the ground. So we're gonna take these wheels off, then we're gonna break those bolts off right there, those 4 on each side, lower this diff a little bit, pull that block out of the bottom. Hopefully, it looks like we got plenty of threads on these U-bolts, so we shouldn't need shorter U-bolts or anything, but we're gonna find out shortly. Yeah, it's just as simple as taking these 4 bolts off, dropping this like metal perch, and then dropping the diff enough to where we can pull that block out. And then there's gonna be a nipple in the middle that we have to line up to a hole in the leaf spring so that this axle stays centered. If you don't do that, your axle might fucking fall off. So, yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm using a 24, and I'm gonna drop this carrier. And then what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just drop the whole diff enough to where I can pull this block out. And then hopefully everything goes as planned, is just jacking it back up and fitting it back in the nipple. As you can see up here, it's gonna be dead in the middle. And there should be a nipple on this thing so that it'll slide in the hole on the leaf spring and keep everything centered. So let's see how this goes. All right, so I did remove one of the U-bolts because on this block, fat thing that sticks out the side, so I took that out so it doesn't interfere. I don't know if you can tell, but that bump stop on this side is just gone. And the one on the other side is so old, I just kind of ripped it off. So, we don't need that shit where we're going. But make sure you take those plastic clips off of the U-bolt, holding those lines on. Okay, we just slowly lowered the diff. Now this block should just come right out. See how there's a hole in the top, a hole in the bottom, a nipple on the bottom. There's a nipple on the bottom of this. That right there. You're gonna make sure it fits in that hole. If it does not fit in that hole, you need to make it fit. If not, this diff is gonna be uncentered and it's dangerous for, as you could assume. You don't want the diff going anywhere. But yeah, they come out really, really easy, bro. Like super easy. So now we're just gonna get this thing jacked back up. Throw this U-bolt back on here. So then we can just slap everything back together, you know? So far, so good, pretty straightforward. If you have a lot of rust on these, oh my God, my U-bolt is bent. Fog it. Yeah, so let's make sure these threads are gonna be enough. I think they will. They look like they will. Yeah, if you come from the rust belt, make sure you throw some PB Blaster and let it soak on these threads for a little while. You know, mine really has 0 rust on it, and these still had some grime and a little bit of a pain. Not really a pain to get off, but if you don't have power tools, it is going to be a pain in the ass, because those things aren't the easiest to take on and off if you don't have a power tool. All right, so when you jack this thing up, this axle will move. So don't worry if it doesn't line up. Jack it up to where it's really close, to where you can still see the hole in the nipple, and then manipulate one side to slide in. Slide it in. We're gonna put that on, that brace, with some of those bolts to hold it in place for now, just to put a little bit of pressure on it so it doesn't fall out. And then we're gonna finish up on this side so we have enough room to manipulate it, because if you see, it's a little off right now. So we wanna manipulate it so it'll fit in. Honestly, since that side's already in, I might go ahead and slide this over and line everything up. But yeah, so far so good. It's only been like 20 minutes since I started this. Okay, so I had the feeling I was gonna run into this problem. These studs are gonna be a little too long to fit my impact socket all the way on. So I'm probably gonna have to chop these just by a few threads to give me enough room to get the socket all the way up in there. So didn't really want to have to grind anything, cut anything, but love it. All right, so I cut the other side, but it was taking a little while it was on the truck. So now that I know about how much you need to cut off, we need to cut off about 1 inch. So I'm gonna do it on the vise, just to make this a little bit quicker. Have everything lined up, bolted up on this side. Again, that U-bolt is bent. Well, this came out of line. All right, and just like that, I think we're done. Got everything trimmed, tightened as tight as humanly fucking possible. So this thing should not be going anywhere. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I'm gonna throw the wheels back on, see how everything fits, clean everything up, and then probably go for a test drive. I'll tell y'all what, coming from stance to diesel, like taking off wheels and like pulling shit and adjusting stuff, it's quick, it's easy. But man, this shit is heavy, bro. This shit damn near wore me out. Broke a sweat. But we got the blocks pulled. I mean, obviously, it's not gonna sit crazy low, but the 37s do fit. They fit fine, actually. Plenty of room, plenty of room. So I'm gonna go for a test drive, see if maybe it settles a little bit, or I don't know. Honestly, just to make sure everything is good and that it rides good. That's all that matters, because this is my daily. I do have a work truck, but on the weekends and stuff, this is what I usually get around, man. So I want to make sure it's reliable and cool. But yeah, we're gonna go test drive, see how it looks, see how it rides. So yeah. Well, she's all linked back now. Rode pretty good too. So far, so good on pulling the blocks. Rides the same. Everything was lined up good, I'm assuming. So I'm headed now to go drop off the truck. Heathen Performance, Jason over at Heathen Performance, he's been doing a lot of work for me. I'm gonna finally get this disaster kit thrown on, S&S disaster kit. And then I got some Rough Country, I think the N3 shocks for the steering stabilizers. We'll probably take a break on the truck for a little bit until we can get a lift. I'll probably grab a 3 or 4 inch Rough Country. But yeah, I'll let y'all listen to it real quick. I think it sounds so good, man. It sounds so good.